Oops, I had a bit of technical problems then. Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Quick Chats with Chantal Miranda. Today I've got an amazing guest. Her name is Janelle Ritchie. Now, I've known Janelle for a while. We actually both started a group development together when we were understanding about our mediumship, psychic, and a bit confused on what we were doing. But doing groups like this actually helped us so much. We engaged straight away. There was that connection. We became partners in every activities that we did as we were growing and developing as psychic mediums. Now, when I say growing and developing, that means that we knew we had it. It was with us, but we learned how to work with it. When I say with it, it's learn how to work with when you see spirit, when you understand there's more to life, and all these spiritual things that were happening to us. It guided us to the spiritual church. I'm here in Brisbane, as some of you may know, to the Spirit Church here in Brisbane. And that's where we met. So, look, without any further noticing and keep blubbing on, I'll actually introduce you now to Janelle, and she actually can introduce herself to you guys and tell you exactly what she does, where she works, and the typical questions that I ask, how can we find her, and how she started her journey. So please put your hands together for Janelle. Here she comes. Hello, Janelle. You there? Maybe I should put her on. There we go. Hi, Janelle. How are you, darling? I know, right?
Hello, I exist.
Somewhere. How are you going, Janelle?
Awesome, and thank you for having me come through today. I really appreciate that. So,
Thank you for accepting. I only had awesomeness in this place.
It feels a little bit full circle in some ways, isn't it? From our history of, developing earlier on to where we are now, and I think it's fair to say we're both loving our journey.
Absolutely. Both the same, but yet different. And that's
Yeah,
what I'm enjoying, self-discovering more than anything.
yeah.
Now, Janelle, you've come back from Thailand, I believe, not long ago.
Yes, I've just got back from Thailand. What was that? Oh, just about a couple of weeks ago, and I had a couple of weeks over there. I did some training, and I did a lot of leisuring, and I took my sister with me, and
Very nice.
it was amazing. It was such a beautiful place, and we learned so much just by being in that environment. You always learn from being out of your comfort zone, right?
Absolutely. Now, when you say learn, can you explain to people why you went to Thailand and what you learned?
Yeah, sure. Well, I went over to do a course, a 5-day course with my mentor, who is Rhys Davies. He is amazing. I think a lot of people know of him.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to introduce my sister to, his work, and, she's starting to get into the field herself. I'm kind of having to drag her in a little bit, but she has the abilities. It's just that she hasn't had a formal structure on how to use her abilities, and it's great to be in an environment, a learning environment, where you can find out what you can actually do.
Okay, when you say I had to pull her, how does she feel about that? Was she willing to go? Is she willing to learn, or?
She always wanted to. It was just a matter of encouraging her to pull her finger out and actually do it. She.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pull her finger. You know what happens then. But I
Let's
swear,
not go.
I'm sorry. Be professional here.
Yeah.
Sometimes we all need that little kick. We needed that kick too, right? We got it the hard
And I
way
wanted.
with spirit, with physically, in every way. And you were good on you, Janelle. So what did you learn about this trip? Because I love Rhys. He's my mentor too. Everywhere or anything I have learned to develop with my skills has been through him. And, we're going this Friday to see him. If you guys are here in Brisbane, he's actually, if you go to my website, you'll see it at Wynnum at, I think it's 7 to 9. he's going to have a live mediumship platform. So it'll be a great event. I believe if you still haven't got tickets, there are a few left, not much, but yeah, it's a full house. I'll give you more details later. But so you went to one of Reese's development group for mediumship, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And speaking of what you were saying too, he's also going to be doing Brisbane Northside in Sandgate coming up in December as
that's
well.
right.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to come to the Northside event, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, we sort of a lot of those things I knew, but it's nice to put things back into practice and have another dabble in doing trance work again, which is also always amazing. It always really takes things up a notch. Yeah, and then it was wonderful, and we really enjoyed that. But then after that, we had that lovely experience. Was bit into it. We sort of got into a bit of a more relaxed environment, and went off and did our own tours. And it was actually, I wanted to bring it up. So during one of those tours, I had quite a profound spiritual experience. So, and it was amazing.
I love these. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
it was so exciting.
yeah. Go on. What happened?
So what happened is, sometimes we know that our spirit people are with us, but when you go overseas, you sort of that they might be with you. But with this experience, it was just extra special when spirit does that big hello, I'm here, I'm with you, and you're not doing this. So what happened is we went on a boat tour, and on this boat tour, you go out into the ocean around the islands around Fifi, they're just divine. And during that time, you get to hop off the boat and you go on some kayaks and you go through some amazing caves, and it was just such an amazing place. And after we'd been through a couple of caves, we got back onto the boat and we're heading off to the next island. And to my surprise, I could see the island coming up, and it was under a whole storm cloud. I could see a massive rain cell. And not only that, I looked off to the side and I could see lightning as well. So I actually said to my sister who was on this journey, I said, wow, I think we're heading into a storm, which was quite surprising after coming through some calm seas. But in the same time, before I had this discussion with her, we'd already just had a discussion talking about our dad in spirit, saying we really felt like dad was with us. And it was nice to sort of have that awareness that he was with us. We've gone out to these islands, seeing this storm cell, thinking, wow, we're actually, our trip has been amazing so far, but it might change. So during this time, I'd just spoken to my sister about this, storm, and it was heavy. It was quite heavy. And as I was talking to her, behind her, I could see out into one of the islands. And when I looked out at that island, it had the most tiny cloud over this island. Really not much at all. And in this cloud, I could see a rainbow. So what it represented to me was there really shouldn't have been a rainbow there. There wasn't enough rain cloud there to actually be a rainbow, but it was there, and it was getting my attention because that was the direction I was looking. And that was Dad's way of saying to me, you know what, it's going to be okay. I didn't realize that at the time. So what happened when we got to the island, it was extraordinary, because what happened when we got to the island was nothing. The storm had gone. The clouds had gone. The lightning had gone. And it was just so peaceful. And we had another beautiful experience there, seeing some of the wildlife there, seeing some of the amazing birds.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
So
and then
there was a storm there, but as you
it
got
was
there was no storm.
literally sailing into a storm, literally.
Was the
And,
boat rocking? Was the water, or was it just everything come, but you could see the island? And
where we were, the boat was not.
mm,
But I knew that going into the storm, you expect that, okay, we're probably going to have some rough seas here.
mm,
But when we got to there, all we got was sun, and it was
I
beautiful.
love
And
that.
so, yeah, so that was
Wow.
God's way of saying, you know what? He was giving us the
Stay
big
calm.
signal that
Yeah.
it's going to be okay.
Okay.
But
I
it was
love
more than
spirit.
okay. It was just amazing. So that was, a confirmation for me to let others know or remind others. We quite often do now. Our spirit people come with us, but that's his way of saying, I'm taking this journey
Mm,
too. And we quite often find that spirit loves to, our spirit people like to look through our eyes and see what we're seeing, and they're having a vacation as well. And I love that.
the minute they go home, they're on a vacation because they're always with us everywhere we go. That's
Yeah,
beautiful, Janelle. And I know that you've been wanting to feel, I know you have felt that, but I
yeah,
feel that this is the next level that you have felt that's giving you that inner peace for you
yeah.
to keep doing your journey the way it will come, not the way we think or are expected to, or how we think it should be. It
Mm.
just happens. I'm so happy, and I'm so glad your sister experienced that too. I've met your sister. She's gorgeous.
She's great, isn't she?
Mm, she's
Yeah.
quiet, but I think that's an act. The quiet ones are the ones you got to be wary of, right?
And you get to know her.
That's
No,
what
but
I mean.
that's the thing. She's finding her spiritual voice too, and I love to,
I love it,
we love
and
when we
I'm
know,
loving her that you're supporting her.
yeah, and we love it when people close to us and we can guide them into the direction. Whereas you and I were a little bit more like, you know, finding our way,
Mm.
trying to figure things out for ourselves. So I love being able to, help others on their journey as you
Yeah,
do.
as
Yeah,
we do, because we're here
yeah,
to help each other. Thank you so much for sharing that, Janelle. I'm going
yeah.
to ask you something.
Mm.
For people that don't know, now you did say earlier that you had an amazing time learning things, new skills when you went there, learning mediumship with Reese. You said, and we did a bit of trance. Can you explain to people what that is, please?
Trance is it's a beautiful experience. It's where you go into a relaxed state of blending with spirit. You don't just drop into this. You set up some healthy intentions first, and you're guided by working with the light and going about it the right way. And it is a complete blend with spirit. So it is giving spirit a permission to integrate with your spirit. They come into your auric field and work with you, and you allow them to speak through you in a more profound way than our normal mediumship. And
Connection.
it's, as you know, I know that you've done it a little bit before too. It's just such a profound experience.
It's
It's
amazing.
like,
I haven't done it for a while, but I'm ready for it too. It's a nice form of exercise for us as well. Can I ask you something as well for those people that don't know really much about what trance is? Is okay. So if you explained it, you allowed your spirits, and they can actually in their spirit connect, and they actually use you as your tool, your body, physical. Um, is it scary for you? What do you think? What would you say to those people who are wondering, oh shit, that's too scary for me. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go that far, because we know people do that. What
yeah.
can you
And,
explain to us?
if you told me 10 years ago I'd be doing this, I'd be like, are you
Mm.
crazy? That is way too
Never.
scary.
Yeah,
That would,
yeah. I will never do that. Yeah.
but no, we set it up correctly. You set up with it's really important to set up with the intention and working with spirit and asking spirit to keep you safe and protected through that experience, because you do allow yourself to be vulnerable and during that time, we do it perfectly safely, and we have, it's good to have someone else there guiding the process to make sure that everything's okay, because they can pick up things that we don't see for ourselves. Because the beautiful thing about trance is when we go into there, quite often our faces don't look the same. When spirit blends with us, it's quite amazing. You'll see a face, you know, the person sitting in front of you doing the trance work, their face becomes that of the person that they are blending with. And when you're doing it for them in regards to their loved one, it's quite profound. You don't realize it yourself because you've allowed them to come through. But like I said, because it's all done safely, it's okay. But at the same time, watching, you know, the other person doing it back to me, I could see this lady's face change into that of my grandfather's, and their mannerisms change, and then
the way they talk. Yep.
You know, it was so funny. I've got to tell you a funny story. She told me beforehand that she's not a hugger, right? She doesn't hug, and that's fine. So we set up an agreement. I said to her, well, we're going into transfer. We need to have an agreement. I said, I will, you know, we have an agreement that we won't hug, and that's okay. Well, guess whose spirit person got her up and she hugged me?
Rightio. There you go. Your grandfather hugged you.
It was hilarious. Like, it was in the moment, I was thinking, gosh, you know, I hope she's okay with this. But she was the person that was coming to me for the hug, and it was just beautiful. And you know, and I said to her afterwards, were you okay with that? And she said, absolutely. She said, because it wasn't me hugging you, it was your grandfather. And I was like,
wow.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Such a beautiful experience. And
I'm so glad you did that. We have done with yourself. We both have done trance. We've gone to a group. I can't remember where it was. Sunday.
Yeah, I was on the north side somewhere. Yeah.
Somewhere around there we went.
Yeah.
And for those that don't understand, again, we are allowing it. So it's not like you sit there and it's done to you. And we talk a lot about things, but there's a lot of training into it. It's not that we just go in and bang, wham. There is a lot of education and a lot of training that has to occur prior. So if you're not ready, you're not ready. No one has to make you, because a lot of mediums say, look, I'm happy to this level of mediumship. I don't need to do that. And I was one of them. I don't need to do that. And then I was curiosity, always curious Scorpion. So I ended up going, I ended up loving, and, you know, Reese was one of them that we had to watch his face change around in the dark with red light, and the other person, which I can't remember their name, I'm sorry, it was a while back. But then we had electrical things in the room going deliberately so you could hear, and we were hearing conversations between a lady and a man. Were you there that day? I think you were.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was just amazing. The radio was talking to a man, and the man was replying, and then we could hear things, and then it's just amazing. And the purpose of this exercise is up to whoever wants to do it. No one makes us. It's for ourselves. Because we do mediumship a lot, it just does that refinance that we are hearing all of the same thing. We are picking up on the same level of vibration that's there, and we're all seeing with the same eye who's in front of us. And it's more a form of an exercise. That's how I see it.
Absolutely. And I learned through that too, that how much spirit likes to play with electronics. Because and you think about it, it makes sense, right? Because electronics is energy, and they are working on the energetic field. So it makes sense that the first go-to for them that's going to be easy for them to muck around with is electronics.
Yeah.
And, you know, people often talk about that, you know, in a reading, they'll say, you know, I know my spirit person was around because the light bulbs, you know, they
go
love
on
to
and off.
People's electricity, which is amazing. Yeah,
and there's nothing to be scared of, because the people that like I said, I haven't done it for a while, and I think I'm due for it. But the people that we do it with are people where you know them, you're safe. So it's a safe environment, and one person is in charge of taking care of it all. So you're never alone. And then we come out of it again. And there's always a beginning cleanser where we clean our energy. And at the end, we thank them and we clean our energy again and we cut cords. So it's not like we go home with it all, so people can understand how it's done, because I'm sure they'll ask a lot of questions later on.
Yeah.
And speaking of trance, I believe you have some auras there, and we're talking about energy.
Yeah. So I will recap though back on what you were saying there. I'll just say, we always that was an important point that you brought up. We always do it in a protected
area,
space,
safe area.
Yeah. Now, yes, as far as auras, I was so happy to share those. On the weekend, I was doing an event down at Byron Bay, and I got the opportunity to do something I've wanted to do for ages. Speaking of people's auras, and we know, as mediums, we know how much energy we use doing a reading, but people can't literally see it. But we have the thing called auragraphs. And there was a person down there doing auragraphs. So I got my opportunity. So what I did was I got a auragraph before I did the reading. And then I got another one after doing the reading. And it was funny because he said to me, it might not look so different. And I said, okay, that's cool. We'll see. So do you want to see how different it looks?
Please. Drum rolls. I don't have sound effects yet.
So let me get it right. So this.
Oh, is that orange?
Yeah, that's orange. So, let me get it right there. So that's orange. That is pre the reading, right? So this is a lot of creative space. This is drive. And around here, we've got the indigo.
You've got a bit of green there.
Yeah, this is compassion. The green is about the healing. And then I got the violet was about the mysticism. So you got a bit of indigo that side,
blue indigo,
violet there. Yeah, so it's kind of all of that. Now
you look so serious in that photo. It's like it's not a passport photo, Janelle. But anyway,
I know. But you know what? What I was at that time was, I know it looks like that, but I was actually.
I know. I'm like, you're always smiling, and you look like you're in your passport. Or you might as well put a number up and then sideways. But anyway,
what it was, like, I was peaceful. I just come out of a meditation.
Oh yeah, true.
So I was just like, Zen.
Yeah.
But this is what it looks like afterwards. There you go. So that's the difference.
And look, and it's like a rainbow.
Yeah,
wow,
so
a lot of green and yellow.
Before and after. So
and look at your throat chakra.
I
That's
know, right?
using your voice to speak what people are saying, like spirit is saying. That's your voice chakra.
Absolutely.
The brain is very, very, very in tune. Very what's the word that I'm looking for?
It's the healing. So that's healing, balancing, teaching in the green. The red. See how the red my throat chakra changed. From there, my throat chakra was normal. There, where it goes red.
It's activated. Yeah.
Wow. So that's speaking with passion, and which is not surprising.
And your truth, speaking your truth, because it comes all.
And we love what we do, and this is just proof. This is a photo proof of we love what we do, right? And they're slight orange around that, and then we're going back up to the indigo.
And then blue corners. That's all wisdom. That's all messages coming, so people can understand. And then it goes into the healing, and then she speaks through. If you know your chakras, that's that chakra, the voice chakra, or the throat chakra.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
It's so good to have some more, we're starting to get more scientific validation of what we do. And, scientists, as they're starting to do research, are starting to talk about mediums are accessing a whole heap of brain waves that aren't normally being accessed. And it's good to have the proof,
Absolutely. And speaking of that, do you remember, because I used to suffer a lot of headaches, and do you remember my famous headaches, especially that time of the month that I don't get anymore? Anyway, I went to get a scan done just to make sure there wasn't a blood clot or something pressuring. They found my brain absolutely healthy, but they did find that, remember my pineal, and I called it pineapple?
Yeah, your pineal gland.
My pineal gland. They said to me, everything's fine, but your pineal gland is extremely big. It was somewhere there, and I go, okay. So what does that mean? Oh, it's and this is the scientist, the doctor. He says it's also known as your third eye is open. And I'm like, oh, okay. But that was it. That's all I had in my brain, apart from brain. And it was quite big. And they said to me, if in the future that annoys you, you feel uncomfortable, we can drain it for you. And I went, no, you leave my
No,
little pineapple alone.
no, no, no. Your pineapple just
You
needs a
leave it.
rest.
But then again, the funny thing is, the way he said it, also known as your third eye. I went, geez, that explains. But that wasn't the cause of my headaches. We worked out what it was. I had a pinched nerve that was affecting here and it was going to my head. So that was the headaches. I've got a really good pillow now that Dan bought me. I've gone through so many pillows. I've spent so much money on pillows. But anyway, we finally got one for $25 at IKEA that did the job.
Woohoo!
I know. I've got $80, 90, 100 and something, feathers here, feathers there, this, that, nothing. And IKEA, $25. Amazing. Moving
Amazing.
forward, darling. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing that. So you are a medium.
I am.
You connect with spirits. Can you talk to us about your work?
Yeah, my work is my passion. I love, I'll start a reading with a bit of a psychic work. I'll start with some oracle cards, and then as soon as someone's person and I always ask permission. I always say to them, "Is it okay if a spirit person pops through?" I think getting permission is really important.
Mm.
And then usually they do, and it can be, as you would know, sometimes an entire family reunion. Quite often
Mm.
it's not just one
Including pets,
person.
yes. Hey, by the way, your dog's here too, and they want to let you know he's fine. Oh, Pepito died 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I love that. That reunion. Yeah.
Don't you just love it? And,
It's
and we
beautiful.
have, sometimes, as you know, sometimes it gets quite deep too, I
Mm,
had one on the
mm,
weekend where, she had a relative come through who he wasn't very nice. He wasn't a very nice person in his
mm.
living world. And he was coming
We
through.
get those, yeah.
Yeah, he was coming through with the big apology, and you probably find this too, as as they've crossed over and they've realised what they have done.
The damage they have left
Yeah,
behind.
the big remorse comes back with them, and I
Mm.
feel too that they want to go the extra mile in helping the person
Loved
that's
ones.
sitting in front
But
of us.
yeah.
But in the same time, that person might not want that, and that's
Mm,
perfectly okay because they have free will. Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
What
yeah.
I've also noticed that when people that come and the other person say, us the readers who read for our client and the spirit that they don't want to see, obviously we've got permission. They come to forgiveness, but mainly it's to forgive the person themselves for holding on to that, because at the end of the day, they are now obviously dead and they are now seeing their own consequences of damage they've done. So they're paying whatever has to happen, beyond the veil that we can't see because we're not entitled to it. But they come for you, for instance, so you can find your peace to let go of their shit or whatever they did so
Yeah.
you can move forward. So mainly they come for that and they give us evidence enough for the client to understand what we're on about without getting into too much details
Yeah,
to touch sensitive things.
absolutely, absolutely. And but that's only a small snippet of what we do. Of course, we've got all the other spirit people, and I
Mm.
always, sometimes I love it when they like to bring up nice memories for this
Mm.
person, and they say, "Oh, I forgot about that, special tree house, whatever that grandpa
Yeah.
built for me," and
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they knew, and it's just nice to be reminded of those childhood memories that are the good things. And I love how Spirit likes to talk about, some of the good childhood stuff, not everybody, everybody doesn't have a perfect childhood, but it's nice to be reminded of the good stuff.
The thing is that we hold on sometimes too much on the stuff that we didn't enjoy, but we forget how good we also had it. And that's what Spirit, I believe, come to remind us, hey, there is also all these good things, so you can block some of the stuff that no longer really have a purpose. I don't know. Would that resonate with you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, sometimes they want to, that's exactly what they want to do. It's not have the person think about, some of the negative stuff, but it's reminding, and also reminding that person, we grow up and we forget our childlike behaviors.
Yeah.
We forget our inner child. And quite often I find that's what Spirit's doing. It's reminding us of, it's not just the childhood those good childhood memories. It's reminding us of our inner child and to still have fun. We might be grown up, but it doesn't mean we can't have fun, right?
Correct. But what happens to us that we can't grow up? One day, hey, I'm 50, I'm going to be a grandmother again. And I'm like, okay, I still want to grow up. Not really. Whatever. I've given up. But it is true. And I know that and from your experiences too, that when they do what you said, which was beautiful, that you remind them of when they were young and that smile, a lot of the time spirits say, this is what you have, a beautiful smile, and you can continue it, in their own way. And it's nice that you do that. So if someone wanted a reading, Janelle, where can we find you?
So probably the easiest way is on my Facebook page. So I've got my Facebook.
So that's the one that's down there. Oh, hang on.
Bottom,
that one there.
So
yep.
Janelle Ritchie, Psychic Medium on there. I also got an Instagram page, and which is Janelle_medium. And both of those pages have a booking button, but if you have trouble with using that, I can book you in. But that's only for when I do my online readings, and when I do every second Saturday, I work out at North Lakes up at Soul Spectrum, so it's for those readings. And then on Thursday,
what's it called? Where do you work on the? Can you explain that? Sorry.
Yeah, it's called Soul Spectrum.
Okay.
At North Lakes. So, and it's a beautiful space. It's full of lots of health practitioners who do Reiki and massage and psychology, and it's a really lovely space and full of some really lovely people. So that's every second Saturday, but every week I work at Crystal Journey. So Thursdays at Strathpine and Fridays at Stafford, and they take my bookings through the stores there directly. And a bit like you, I often wander off to events. So, you have to watch our space, don't you?
You're like a little busy bee.
Yes,
You're in every event.
Yeah. Like last weekend at Byron, and then I'm doing
prior
another.
to that. Yeah, where are you going to be this weekend? Are you doing anything this weekend?
Yeah, I'm doing at Redcliffe on Sunday. It's All in the Cards Expo, and that one's a pretty regular event. And it's not a big event, but it's really good. A lot of people come along and really enjoy the space, and it's always fun to see what crystals we can pick up along the way, right?
You know a lot about crystals. Talk to us a little bit, because it's too much. But just so you know, guys, she's an expert with crystals, and I love the fact that she connects crystals to your readings for healing.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? With crystals, I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I definitely, with my crystals, I'll show you one here. I will. This one's a little. See, I forget what they're called all the time. It's got that lovely little rainbow through it.
Something about it's.
I forget what it's called.
I've got my crystal ball there. That's that. Oh, it's beautiful.
I want to call it malachite, but I know it's not malachite. It's the other one. It's labradorite. So it's labradorite. So how I pick my crystals is I'm very choosy, and I will psychometry them. So, psychometry where you feel the energy in your hand.
It's meant to be.
Yeah. So I will, if I see a bunch of crystals there, I will pick each one up that takes my attention, and I'll find the one that I vibe with the most.
Right. Right.
So I wear lots of crystals. I talk to people about crystals, and I always say to people, if you're not sure if crystals have energy, just think of your quartz watches. They are run on the energy of a quartz crystal.
There you go. Very clever. I told you she was very good with crystals. Better than
So
me. I can't even pronounce some of them.
So they definitely have energy, and they definitely. I'll tell you, I've got to show you one of my favorites too. This is something
Okay.
that's a little bit extra special. Doesn't look like anything major. Let me see if I can bring it up to the camera there. See that one there? That one
Yes.
is, that's called a numite or nummite. I don't know how it's Nummite. That one is a really, really powerful one. And
For what? Powerful for negative energy to absorb? What is it for?
I find it a very powerful spiritual energy. Even when I
Mm.
just picked it up then, I'm like, oh, you get a bit of a
Oh,
head buzz.
really?
Yeah. So sometimes when
Oh,
I'm doing my readings, I'll have that one on me.
right.
Um, us being ladies are lucky we can pop it in our bra.
I know, and
um,
hold it there
yeah, you
for
can
a
pop
bit
it
or
in your
two.
pocket, but you'll pick up the energy off of it. It kind of
Yeah,
sometimes these little ones who resonate, that resonates with me. It might,
yeah.
different people resonate with different
With different
crystals.
things, not
Yeah.
everyone. Because I remember when I was getting into this spiritual thing, I thought I had to know about crystals, and I went studying, and I bought so many crystals. They're there now. I put them in my candles. But for people who are coming out and learning about this, what do you suggest? What would you recommend? I mean, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are going
Advice.
with what feels right for you, and you should investigate crystals a bit because people are going to ask you questions about crystals, and some
Mm,
people are right into them, just as you know it's good to know. And it's same with aromatherapy and those
mm,
sort of things. It's good to have a basic
knowledge.
understanding.
Yeah.
People are going to want to ask questions, and you want to be able to confirm those things for them. And it's like dabble in a little bit of everything. And the best part about you dabbling in a little bit of everything is that you get to learn more about what floats your boat. Yes, we're
That's a good
mediums, but
advice.
yeah.
Very good.
And I'll
And
say
what
the
is
same about, if you want to get a book, a book on to have a look at on spiritualism, or,
mm,
it might be about meditations, it might be about healing, it might be about crystals or whatever. I always say to people, go into the bookshop, and the first book that grabs your attention, that's the book.
yeah.
Because what happens is you're not thinking about it. Your subconscious told you that book,
Mm.
whereas your conscious mind will pop in and go, oh, I
Do I
don't
really need it?
yeah, or I don't know if I want to do this other thing first, So it's really about go with your subconscious,
Yeah,
your
that makes
most,
sense.
yeah, and it's the
100%.
same with your oracle cards, right?
Yeah,
Which one stands out
absolutely.
to you first, the most? That's the one.
Now, quickly before we let you go, I love the fact that you brought the oracle cards. I had the other day, Mark. He works where I work as well, at the Gold Coast at
Oh
Chameleon
yes,
New Age Salon. Yep. So he does a lot of tarot reading. He's really into tarot reading, and we talked about the difference between tarot and oracle. Oracle cards. Tell me more about that. Do you like tarot reading, or do you do oracle reading? Which ones do you?
that's a great question, isn't it? Because I'm like
Mm,
you, I look at tarot and I have no idea. But oracle cards, absolutely, I love them. And what they are, they're just a tool, really, for our
mm.
channeling. Because we just, as you know, we just pick up the card.
We don't
What we,
really need cards to read, but
yeah,
sometimes we need to show
and
people some visual. Can you
yeah,
explain the
absolutely.
difference between a tarot, please, and an oracle?
I think Mark explained it better because he was really good at it. But yeah, I just work with the oracle.
Mm,
But how I work with it, similar to you, it's just a tool, and
mm,
I don't even read the instruction book. That just gets taken out, because you don't need the instruction book once
no.
you're channeling. And I just use it as a tool for channeling, and then
Mm,
what comes through. And it's a really nice way sometimes to ease into a reading. And
mm,
sometimes people are coming to you and they're a little bit stressed out, or a
mm,
little bit, over worried about who will come
Overwhelmed,
through.
yeah. Or
Yeah,
just are very vulnerable. So,
yeah,
when they come and see us, they are in a vulnerable position. So it's really
yeah,
important that we give them that energy and of relaxing. So for me, like you, for us,
yeah,
Oracle, because one, the beautiful magical pictures I have of angels and just peacefulness. But
yeah.
like you said, we read it intuitive. We don't need the cards, but a lot of people need the visual.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where it works so well. Um, if I can quickly, I know we're running out of time, but if I can quickly
No,
add
you're fine. Go on.
that, yeah, with the readings too, I've been finding a lot as well. You know, people often, I like to think of us as the first port of call after someone
Mm,
has passed. You know, they want to know that their loved one is okay, and I love that we can facilitate for them, and any questions they might have around their passing, or what's happening for them in the spirit world. Do they know that everything's okay, or do
mm.
they know that the family afterwards have been, not very nice about the will, or things like
Oh,
that will
mm,
come up. Yeah, that's a great one. That one, isn't it?
oh,
So, but some of them too. The family who the person who's passed, it comes with trauma, and
mm,
we're able to let them know that their person is okay, but also at the same time, I see it as our role that when people still have other trauma to be dealt with, that we're able to point them in the right direction
correct.
for the counsellor, or
Mhm.
some people need advice around relationships and so forth. So I like to think we're the first port of call, and sometimes, or majority of cases, that's all that people need. But our other role is to say to people, sometimes you need a bit of extra help, and
Help,
some
yeah.
grief counselling, and especially when someone's lost a child.
Mm,
That's
yeah,
that's that's a really tough road, and
absolutely.
yeah, so I see our role as saying, letting them know, because
Yeah,
I kind of noticed that when if they go into grief counselling, they can't really concentrate so well on that, not knowing that the person is okay.
yeah.
So I feel like our role is to tick that box to let them know your person is actually okay, and here's the evidence of that. Well, we're evidential mediums. We bring through the evidence of that, and then if we can still see that person needs extra, then we'll point them in the right direction of where they
So
need
the
to go.
networking comes in place, and that is why a lot of it's really important that you. And I love the fact that you pointed that out, because there are a lot of sadly scammers out there that will take advantage of the vulnerability. Having an understanding, and we are mediums that have been educated how to work with this gift. A lot of that is touched in the counselling. I feel blessed in the way that I have got my diploma in counselling and welfare. So a lot of the people that come and see me, they do come, one, to make sure, like you said, the loved one are okay. Two, we give them evidence, because we need to not just say, I can feel spirit. No, we actually describe who's here. We can smell, we can taste, we can feel. They take us on a little journey, like Janelle was saying before, when the grandfather takes them back. Remember, I built that cubby house for you. So that's part of evidential mediumship, that they show us things that only you relate to. But then again, that's all they need. Sometimes that peacefulness, but then the counselling comes, you spend that quality time with them for them to talk, to reconnect and feel that peacefulness and calmness. But I have had experience where my welfare comes in, and I give them names and numbers, lifeline, or anything like that, salvation, or anything that's related to. So for me, studying that, I never knew I was going to use it in this way. It has been a gold cent, because it's used a lot. And saying again, there's a lot of scammers out there that you got to be careful. Sadly, we all go under the same umbrella, and it's
Mm.
not like that. Did you know, you would know that in America, the UK, Canada, and a few other countries, mediums are registered. They're not registered here. And that's what we need to fight for. We need to push
Yeah,
that forward.
wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, and the only people that can do that are our churches, spiritual churches, because they can then get in contact with the parliament, and then there has to be someone that actually stands for us. and do exactly what, Canada, the UK, who else? Look, all these other countries who have got a registered card, and people are able to find us in a legit website, and things like that. It's all got to do that. We look out for people not to get hurt, because a medium will never say things that are going to be scary, that are going to be hurtful, or they're going to be threatened. Because I have had, and I'm sure you have had, experience where people say, oh no, I've seen a medium and she told me that I was going to have lose a baby and I was going to do this. A medium will never do that. Never say things like that. They only work with love and light. And they never. Mm-hmm.
And your spirit person is not stuck.
They're
We've
not
heard that one before too, right?
You have had that one. No one's stuck. And I get that, because a lot of people say, oh, they're stuck, we need to let them free. They are free the minute they left. What happens is they are grieving. They also grieve when especially if it's a sudden death. They're like, whoa, what's happening? But they are grieving. And you know who's looking out for them? All their angels, all their guidance, all the higher teachers, all the, Dr. L, all their guidance are giving them. It's like, I always say, I don't know if you say the same, it's like being in ICU. Instead of doctors and nurses, it's their guidance who are healing them and giving them peace, so that they will never be alone, ever.
Absolutely. And the other thing a medium won't do is tell you that you're going to die. That one we've heard too, like, oh my God. Or
when your mother-in-law is going to die, do you know when she's dying? I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
That is beyond the ridiculous. No.
We
and the other thing
that.
I don't like as well, for me, we all have what we like to work. I mean, I love families. I love working with family and doing mediumship for each and one of them in the same room, and then the spirit give a whole message for the whole family. And I've done that quite a lot with the Indigenous and the island people, which has been beautiful. But the other thing what I don't like, I don't like it when people come to me and want information because they're having an affair. Will the wife leave him so we can be together? Yeah. I just feel, I don't know what to answer to that.
That's not coming at us with the right vibration. That's coming from a very low vibration, and that's not what we're about.
No, and I try, stay away. I can't help you there. In a nice way, fuck off, please. But anyway.
We would rather talk to your spirit people. Let's bring out your dead. We want to talk to those.
Bring the people that you want to know. And that's another thing. Mediums, and there's always that difference. What does psychic and mediums do? You answer that. We know that. Go on. It's you're my guest.
Yeah. No, that's what we love to do. Like, I know you love to do the same too, is just talking to people's dead people. And I have to say something that's so funny. I did a reading for a lady at the Mind Body Spirit Festival, right? And it was about her husband had passed. The moment she sat down, her spirit husband sat down right next to her, and it was lovely. And she said to me, because you might find this too, when I'm between worlds, I don't remember anything.
Of course not. It's not our reading, but yeah.
I don't remember anything. And, she said to me, should I come back and see you? And I said, if you feel drawn to, absolutely. And she said, when? And I said, when it feels right. And, she said, and I said to her, I won't recognize you because I've spent so much time between worlds that I'm too busy talking to your spirit person.
Yeah.
And the funny part was she did recently in the last week or so come back to see me. And she said to me, do you recognize me? And I said, no, I'm sorry, I don't. And she said, she said to me, you said you'd say that. And I said, oh, yeah.
and we're not being rude. It's just that we do so many readings. And it's not
we do so many readings. And quite often we remember your dead people more than the living.
Especially when you see the family after another family, but they don't tell us. And sir, you need to go with your family. And they stay there and they go, oh, that's the other granddaughter. Right. So
absolutely.
I love
that. Anyway, so this lady sat down and I said to her, I don't recognize you. But of course, the moment she sat down, her spirit husband, and I went, oh, I know you now. And it was not because of what she looked like.
It
It
was
was
him.
because of her spirit
Yeah.
husband. I'm like, I remember you.
Yes. Not you, physical person, the other
Yeah.
spirit next to you, your
Yeah.
husband. I love it. I
Isn't
absolutely
that
love it.
hilarious?
That is awesome. Well, Janelle, my darling, it is time for us to start saying thank you so much for being on board. Look, you can ask Janelle questions via her Facebook. We had to record this, so it's not live. We both have things happening on Friday. One of them, I'm going to see Reese, my mentor that I haven't seen in probably a year now. So I'm going to catch up with him. So this will be brought live recording. So if you want to ask Janelle any questions, make a booking with her, go to her Facebook. That's right underneath, and she'll be more than happy to help you with your answers. If you need to make bookings, ask more questions, Janelle's your girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janelle, for your time. And I know you were rushing because you came from work and you had to do other things. So I appreciate your time with me.
Thank
And
you for having me, and thank you for
you're
seeing me. I
welcome.
love
The
catching up
other
with you.
thing is that before you go, Janelle, also, are you doing any platform readings at the Spirit Church for people to know anytime soon?
I believe I have another one before the end of the year. So they
So would
usually
that be on your
schedule us on.
Facebook,
Yeah,
an
I'll,
event?
I'll put it up on my Facebook. I don't have
Hmm.
the date off the top of my head. I usually do 4 a year for them at the
Oh, that's a
spiritual
good
church in
idea.
Brisbane.
I should
And
commit
then I do
myself
a
like
little
that
bit
too.
for do a little bit for Salisbury as well.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So look, if you want to see Janelle do her magic on platform reading, she'll put down the dates and day that and times and addresses where she will be holding her platform reading. So if you go to her Facebook, catch up with Janelle and just follow her. All right. You also got TikTok, haven't you?
I do. I don't do as
I
much on it as
follow
I'm just
you.
starting out.
I
But yes, I'm
know we all are.
Janelle_medium on TikTok. But yeah,
she'll
um,
do dancing for us. No. I only talk to spirits, she says. No dancing here. All right, Janelle, thank you so much for your beautiful interview, whatever you want to call it, conversation with Chantal Shani.
yay.
And we
Thank
shall
you,
see you
Chantel.
around the markets. People will follow you, so make sure you put your things up to date so they know where they can catch you. Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today with beautiful Janelle. Now, before we go, we do have 10 minutes. I just want to let you know a few little things. Let me just blah, 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 blah. Here we go. What am I doing? Okay, so the first thing I want to let you know, guys, is that I work every Thursdays between 10 a.m. and 4. Yeah, I'll say 4. 4 p.m. at the Gold Coast Chameleon New Age Salon. And that's at Surfers Paradise Boulevard in Surfers Paradise. You can Google to make an appointment. Just Google Chameleon New Age Salon. It's a very, very nice place and very well known. A lot of tourists go there. So if you are not from Queensland, that's okay. If you're coming to visit us here at the beautiful Sunshine State, go and visit me. I'm there every Thursday, only Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And just make your bookings if you want a reading and meet me in live. That'll be awesome. I also do phone readings and Zoom readings. You can also catch me on my website, which is www.cmediumship.com.au. So I am working from my beautiful space here at Redlands, which is only 35 minutes from the CBD drive. If you don't believe me, ask Google. That's how I know. It's only 35 minutes, and you can make your booking either to come and see me. I know a lot of people like to meet me or do face-to-face. I work from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, it is important that you do bookings over the internet because I've got nothing to do with that. That's an outsider that does the bookings for me. The other thing is that on the 3rd of December, I'm going to do platform reading. It's an event at Chameleon on Saturday. I think it's a Saturday or Friday. Just go on events. It's a one-off and it's called Conversations with Spirit. So it's really mediumship, platform mediumship, where I'll be connecting to your loved ones, and giving you evidence, mediumship. So if you really want to catch up and see how your loved ones are doing, come in and get a ticket, bring a friend, bring your family. If you're going there for holidays, get your tickets now. It's only a one-off that I'll be doing at Chameleon New Age Salon at the Gold Coast, Surface Paradise at Surface Paradise. It starts it's a 2-hour show, so you will have an intermediate break, but I'll be doing live mediumship, and it's going to be a lot of fun, laughter, and tears, okay? Because it's all about really having a high vibration and embracing the life that your loved ones had here. So we will talk about how they lived, how they acted, because they do give me characters I can smell, taste, and feel. So if you want to know more information, want to buy tickets, go on their website, which is Chameleon New Age Salon at the Gold Coast. Just Google that and you will find. The other thing that I want to let you know is that this Thursday, which is not tomorrow, the day after, if you live in the Redlands or anywhere in Brisbane, I'll be doing platform readings here at Cleveland with the Manitour Spirit Church. If you want more information, go on my website. It will tell you what time and the address. I'll be there doing live mediumship as well for them. I am going to be a guest for them. And if you want if you want to talk about anything that's related to mediumship, spirit, or information about upcoming courses that I'll be doing next year at some point, just come up. Even if you just want to come and say hello. Any other thing that I can't remember what else I was going to say. I've gone blank. I just want to say thank you, actually, in general, for all those people who are tuning in and joining to this beautiful platform. This platform is all about advertising yourself, what you do, how can people reach you, and a bit of your journey. It's really interesting because a lot of people, and it's becoming more aware now about mediums and psychic that are out there. And, like Janelle was saying, even, it's scientifically getting proven more and more that the side of the brain that clicks on and clicks off when we are connecting, it's becoming more out there. So if you're feeling you're on that journey, this platform is about all that. So I will have different people coming who are healers, tarot readers, Reikis, mediums, all spiritual talks. We discuss things such as how this happened to us, when did it start, and also give you advice. Whether you take it or not, that's in your hand, because we all been through the journey that we sometimes take the wrong turn, but you learn from it, and I'm sure you'll do the same. But if we can give you the best of what we have learned through our journey and you can take something out of it, bonus for us, we have helped you. But this platform here is all about teaching, educating, and giving you normality that you are going through spiritual awakening in many different forms as well. All right, guys, you know my address, email address, of course. You know my website. If you're not sure, just go on my Facebook. It'll take you there directly. If you want to be contacted with Janelle Ritchie, who was here today, just go to her Facebook and just ask her anything. Even just say thank you for being on. I'm sure she will appreciate it. Well, in saying that, good night. See you all next week. Next week, I've got, let me tell you right now, let me get my goggles on. Who's coming on next week? I have got Donna Doolittle. She is an animal healer intuitive. So if you've got pets that are acting funny, behaving weird, she's the one that we can talk to. And I love Donna. So she'll be on the 18th of November at 7:27, hosted by myself, Quick Chat with Psychic Medium Chantal Miranda. So I hope to see you then. But for now, see you later, alligator. Good night. Good night.
Bye.